Hey everyone, happy Friday. Thank you for joining me tonight. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make lovely and quirky hand embroidery patterns and kits. And I am here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. And it's a time where we can, for about an hour, relax and craft in the evening together. And I work on a project from beginning to end. So if you work on the project with me, you will get to see every step along the way and ask your questions. And the videos will go on YouTube at Penguin and Fish Movies when I'm done every night here. So, all right, guys, we are working on the Splendid sampler quilt. I got it hanging out here. I have a TV tray right here so I can have my sewing area, and then the TV tray here will hold all the bulk of the quilt while I'm sewing. I am finishing the quilting today. So this is like a almost 3-year in the making quilt, and I pulled it out the other last Friday for our Finish It Friday that we do on the first Friday of the month. We just bring out something that we haven't worked on in a while and try and get a little further on it. And I couldn't bear to put it back in its little box. So I'm just finishing it up over these next few days, and we're going to have a finished quilt. I'm not putting this away again. So we only have one more border to stitch tonight, and then on Monday I will stitch on the binding. And then I'll show you how to do the hand stitching for that as well. And we might do one day of hand stitching, but I'll probably do the rest of the hand stitching on my own, just so we're not here all night or like for all week just hand stitching the binding. But I'll definitely go through the process and go through the process of the corners and everything. I may or may not be here on Monday. My husband's doing a video shoot and he may need to claim the gear for that. But if he's back in time, then I will still be here on Monday. But if not, that's what's going on. So, all right, guys, I'm going to flip you around. Let's sew this deal tonight. Sew this border. So I hope all y'all had a great week. Oh, did it turn cold again? Oh my gosh, it's 92 there in coastal North Carolina. It's chilly today. I mean, it's still spring and crispy, but I put my sweater on it today, and I have the fire on today too. We still have all the windows open, so I like having the cool air, fresh air coming in. Or we have the upstairs windows open, not the downstairs ones. But yeah, I have the fire on. I'm being wimpy today. So today I have that guide on again, and this is that, like, I have it marked at 3 inches. I measured from the needle over for 3 inches. That's how wide I'm making my straight line stitching here. But you'll notice we did this last night, but I put some painter's tape on the little bar so it doesn't move back and forth. It was slipping, so my seams weren't being the right width. So tonight we have a little stopper. It has this little guy on here to stop it from coming out, and then we put some tape on there so it wouldn't get messed up. So that's the deal. We are going to work on that. Ooh, you found some cute knitting patterns today, Joe. That is awesome. I have a knitting project that has been like calling to me to get started, but I just can't do it until some of these other things are done. Like, I just can't break it out. It is from Pearl Soho. They have this adorable lamb pillow that is knit, and it has like a little bobble stitch, which I haven't done before, so I thought, ooh, I'd learn how to do the bobble stitch. But it has been sitting around for over a year, and I have not started it yet, but it will be at some point. All right. So let's see. So yesterday we did that little crease so I could see the line that I want to stitch on. And we're going to just start there tonight. And same thing like the other nights. Let's get stitching. So for this first one, I don't really need the bar here, the seam guide here, because, you know, I have this line to follow, and then we'll get to the seam of the borders where the small border meets these big dark blue borders. and I'm gonna just follow that seam. So I'm gonna just stitch in the ditch for that. And stitch in the ditch just means I'm stitching right in the seam. Oh, a kid's hat with an owl attached to the top. Oh, that's cute. Is that DMC kit, Joe? Don't they have like a little, like balls of yarn that have like a little stuffed animal for making a hat? Is that what you're making? I've seen those and it's a cute idea. Like, it's clever. I like it. All right, see here, I'm just gonna follow the seam allowance there. But yeah, if you're wondering about that sheep pillow, if you just go to purlsoho.com, I believe that's the website. Purl, P-U-R-L, like you're knitting, Purl, purlsoho.com. And then on the blog or projects, somewhere in there, if you type in like sheep pillow or something, or lamb pillow, something like that, then the pattern for the knitting project that I want to do is on there. And I think the pattern's free. It's just on their blog post. But I bought when I was there, I bought a yarn kit for it. So they bundle a bunch of the yarn together for you to make it. And that's my random knitting project that isn't started yet. Oh, so it is one of those DMC kits, Joe. They're so cute, I think. They just look like fun, quick projects. So these DMC kits, it's just like a ball of yarn, but then it has like a little stuffed animal, like a little itty-bitty stuffed animal that comes with it. And the idea is that you knit a hat, like a little baby hat or kid's hat with the yarn, and I'm sure there's probably a pattern or something, and then you put the little stuffed animal on top, like a little, instead of like a ball or instead of like a little poof, it's like a little stuffed animal poof. But they have a few of those, and it's pretty cute. Thought you'd take a break from sewing. Sounds good. We're going to do that soon here, Joe, as well. So I'm getting together the sketchbook cover for my book. We've been talking about doing that project. It's a sketchbook cover with oh, sorry, I'm reading something here too, guys. It's a sketchbook cover with a little zipper in the back to hold like pens and pencils and stuff. And I'm gonna embroider the front of it. So we'll be doing a little embroidery here. But don't worry about it yet. I'm gonna put together a kit for it in case you want, some cute fabric and like the zipper and the sketchbook. If you want all that prepped for you already, I'm gonna get those together. So I'm working on that. I'm still working on getting more books. I told you about that book situation that all my books are gone and they didn't tell me. The publisher didn't tell me. So now I'm scrounging up books from places that buy, books on bulk on the cheap or whatever. So I'm remainder houses. So I'm trying to get a hold of some of those, but they're not being very responsive. But so I'm trying to get books because that's where the sketchbook cover project is in. But then I'll be sure to send you guys emails, and I'll make sure there's plenty of time to get kits before we start. But soon we'll be switching to embroidery again, at least for a little bit, for a fun little project. It will be sewing eventually. We'll sew it into the sketchbook cover, but we'll learn how to do like a little zipper with it, and it'll be like a small, quick sewing project and an embroidery project. So we'll take a little bit of a break from all these giant quilts that we've been working on and do a fun little project and some embroidery. So we'll be doing that coming up. What pattern I'm gonna do, I'm gonna stitch the llama actually on it. So in the book, it has a pattern for like a little kitty with that's made out of wool, like a wool applique. My dropping stuff. My quilt's just getting stuck here on the table. I'm just trying to maneuver it. So it has a little applique kitty. So that's the pattern from the book, and you know, you're all welcome to do that. But you really can do whatever you want on the front, and I thought it'd be fun to do the little llama. And I'm trying to get some really pretty fabric for the book covers for the kits. I think I'm going to get some, if you guys are familiar with Robert Kaufman's Essex linen, metallic. So I'm going to get like this pretty sparkly linen. It's a linen blend, linen cotton blend fabric, and I've tested it for stitching with embroidery, and it works fabulous. And I'm just getting some samples on colors, but I think that's what I'm gonna have for the kit. So if you're ever interested in that that metallic Essex linen, we'll be using some of it for this book cover. But obviously you can use whatever fabric you want to if you don't want to get the kit. And we'll go over on how to adjust the sizes if you have a different size book or a different size sketchbook and stuff too. But yeah, so I'm planning all that out right now, and don't worry, I'll give you guys plenty of time to figure out fabrics that you want, or if you want the kit, plenty of time for shipping and all that. I'm still pricing it out and figuring it out right now, but that's going to be our next project. I mean, we're going to be working on the Charming Chevrons quilt again when we're done with this. But before we get like way deep into the quilting on that, we'll take a break and do this little embroidery sewing project. You have 3 lap-size quilts you need to quilt, but aren't spoken for, so you'll like to do them. Oh, nice. That's nice when there's no timeline on it. Right, Joe? All right, so we got our first row done tonight. There are 4 rows total that we have to do. Ugh. So let's scooch this all the way back again. I think we're going to be super speedy tonight. Which is awesome. We're going to get this guy done. I am so excited. We're doing like the way minimum of quilting for this. But it's going to hold together and it's going to be just fine. Oh, your fabric got caught in the feed dogs. Oh no, you took the plate off to release it, and oh yeah, you found a lot of lint. Yeah, I think, you know what, that brings up a good thing. I think I better clean this out and oil it and stuff again before we get back to the Charming Chevrons. I think it'd be a good time to do that. All right, now I'm going to use that bar. So it's not moving around because I've taped it, but it can still move up and down, which is nice. And I'm going to just align that with the seam that we already stitched, and I'm going to keep my eyes on there instead of the needle here. So I'm going to just be watching that seam, unless a pin comes up, then I'll switch over to here. Oh, someone asked where Pearl Soho is. Well, they have an online store, pearlsoho.com, but then it's located in Soho, in New York, in Manhattan. I forget what street, but definitely in right in Soho with all the other fun, crazy stores that are in Soho. Ooh, I'm like, why is this slipping a little? It's because I don't have my grippets. Get those back up there. Oh, huge difference now that it's clean. That's nice, Gretchen. Yeah, I think that was a good reminder for me. I'm going to have to definitely remember to give this a clean and an oil, and probably switch the needles as well before I start all the quilting for the Charming Chevrons quilt. And I'm going to actually wind a whole pile of bobbins as well. Get those all ready to go. We'll have to see if we can make it through this whole thing without changing the bobbins. Oh, you just Googled the sheep from the Pearl Soho sheep, Linda, and you love it. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, so that's the knitting pattern. And it's free, I think. It's just on the blog, right? The instructions for the pattern. So you can really use you know, whatever yarn you have, but I got a kit for it. So I think it's like, I don't know, 5 balls of yarn of one color and then 1 of another or something like that. So I think I got a kit for the black. It's either, oh man, I can't remember. It's either a gray body with a black face or it's a black body with a gray face. And you know what? I think I when I was there, I purchased a few other fun colors, like a really pretty pink and I think a little, like a cream. And I thought maybe some of the baubles in the body, I would make those colors. But now that I'm thinking of it, maybe that would look really weird, like black with little pink baubles. Maybe it would look like it's sick or something. So I don't know. Or I thought maybe I'd try and do like an ombre pattern or something, but I'm not quite sure how that'll look either. But anyway, in my head, I got extra colors. So I don't know. I think originally I was thinking like an ombre color shift, but I don't know if I like that idea as much anymore. Maybe I do. I don't know. But yep, that project's sitting around. But Pearl Soho, they have tons of free patterns, and then, you know, then they sell kits for them, so, you know. And the kits are freaking beautiful, like the fabrics that they use and the photography that they take and the yarn that they take, or the yarn photos that they take pictures of. They're so beautiful, so you want to, ooh, I'm not attached here, that you just want to make stuff out of it. So they get you. Oh man! Speaking of bobbin, we lost it way far back, but they get you with the photos for sure. Ah, boo. But yeah, the patterns are free. All right, guys, we lost it way back here. I think right after I mentioned it. So, boo! All right, let's wind a bobbin. Good thing we got a little prepped for tonight, last night, because now we got to take the time to do the bobbin. But actually, I'm kind of relieved that we ran out of bobbin now, because I would have been super annoyed if we ran out of bobbin when we were putting the binding on. So fine, we'll wind up a full bobbin here. I'm sure I'll use this blue again. Grr! It sucks when you go like 3 feet's worth of a stitched line and you've been out of bobbin the whole time. All right, I'm untwisting my knob here so that the machine's running, but without putting the needle up and down. Although it kind of goes. It wants to go a little bit. There we go. Ooh. Caught the thread kind of funny there. All right, let's let that guy spin. Man, this is like self-tightening. Like the needle's going a little bit. There we go. Weird. Ever since I brought it in and they tightened it up like a ton, the needle still wants to run a little bit. All right. Hooey, let's get that in there again. Are you guys talking about knitting? I think I technically learned how to knit from my friend's mom. And then I did a lot more like at my grandma's house and stuff. She knit a ton. But I think I learned crochet from my grandma. But it's funny because I think I learned I learned knitting from that friend's mom, and she did the throwing method where, you know, you throw with your right hand, you throw the yarn around your needles before you hook it, versus the continental version where you have the yarn in the other hand and you just kind of grab it with your other needle. So I learned the throwing method. So for years and years and years, I did the throwing method, and I still do for difficult things, just because I'm more comfortable with it, like difficult stitches where I have to think about, I don't know, directions of things. But my mom always did continental knitting, so I don't know, it's weird because I was doing primarily throwing method and she was doing the continental. But now I've started doing continental. I've watched some videos on it just because I wanted to learn the other way of doing it. And man, it's fast. And now I primarily do continental on purpose just because I think it's more fun. And I like that you don't have to switch your hands at the end of the row. You can just keep going, kind of. But when it comes to difficult stitches or when I have to really think about stuff, then I switch back to throwing. Yeah, continental knitting's a lot faster. Yeah, it's just like when I have to do special things like slip a stitch or, I don't know, all those like fancy things. I'm not really great at all those. I can read a pattern and do it, but sometimes I'll, just to make sure, like special cable stuff, all that, sometimes I switch back to throwing just to make sure I'm getting it right. And you guys, I realized, I think just a couple of years ago, that I had been purling wrong for my entire knitting career. I had been purling by going all the way around the needle instead of going in between the two needles. So I'm still uncomfortable with that motion since I've been doing it wrong for so long. It just feels weird. But it also cleared up a whole lot of problems I was having with patterns, like with loops twisting weird and all that. So yeah, even though you've been doing something forever, you can still learn stuff, right? Had some piecing simple patterns. Oh yeah, even if you prefer not to do another way, it's need to be aware of other methods. Exactly, and that's what I like with quilting and stuff too. With all the crafts, I just love learning, and I love discovering new ways to do things. It's like, you know, it's all new superpowers, right? That's what I like about it. It's like another little magic trick that you can have up your sleeve, which will impress somebody someday, right? On the desert island when you need to, like, knit yourself to safety or something, who knows. So yeah, I'm just following this line, and I'm barely keeping my eye on the needle at all. Maybe that's why I didn't realize we ran out of bobbin, because I wasn't looking that way. Ah well. We're back in business now. Oh, Joe, that's interesting. Yeah, I actually went to a shop in my hometown because they sell my embroidery kits, or my embroidery patterns, and I sat into their like Tuesday knitting club or something, and I bought some yarn and worked on a project, and she told me that I was purling wrong, and the owner, and when she showed me the right way, I'm like, oh my God, how have I been doing that wrong this whole time, it never occurred to me to do it the way that she was saying. And I'm like, oh, that's why things have been twisted funny, or that's why I was always wondering why instructions didn't say, you know, go into the stitch in a certain direction. It's because of the purls were wrong the whole time. They functioned, they worked, but yeah, it was adding like a weird little twist every now and then, and yeah. I got it figured out now though, but it's still not natural to me, just because I've only known I was doing it wrong for like a year, right? And I've been like knitting for like 15 years or something or more, and doing it wrong the whole time. But oh well. Oh yeah, my block just zoomed by. Yep, Irene. God, Gavin, I didn't even see it. So there's this is the block that I did for the Splendid sampler. It's upside down right now, but a little ode to my grandma. She did a bunch of crocheted doilies, and I learned to crochet from her. And so I made a little crocheted embroidery, because the chain stitching in embroidery looks almost identical to chain stitching in crochet, which I thought was kind of cool. So that was my block, and this little story behind it. But yeah, my grandma had doilies, crocheted doilies all over her house, and she was always crocheting them with that itty bitty crochet thread. And I have her crochet hooks and all her old crochet threads and the crochet pattern. It was always like this pineapple pattern, and I stitch one of those doilies. I crochet one of those doilies every once in a while. They're just super fun. They're fun to just have around projects, but I like using her crochet hook and her old crochet thread, and I like using it. And the pattern, it's just fun. I don't do anything with them when I'm done. I don't know really what to do with them. I have one of her actual ones that she made, and I made one out of her old threads, and it's like some different colors and stuff. I'd like to frame like in a shadow box or something, but they're huge. I don't know where I would get that done, but I'd like to frame both of those and have them like next to each other, like a little like a diptych art piece. But that's going to require some serious framing that I probably wouldn't do, and I don't know. I'd need to find a framer I can trust that will like make them float a little bit in this window box, and I just haven't put much time to looking into that. But that's what I'd like to do. Have them like in these floating, nicely framed shadow boxes where they're just kind of a little off the surface, so you can see the texture, and if light hits it, you'll see shadows and stuff. That's what I would like. But yeah, like I said, I haven't looked at it too much. All right, 2 more rows here. And it's much easier following this now that it's not sliding around. All right, let's get that presser foot down. All right, and then make that stitch a little bit more. Oop, and get my grippets out again. Ah, there we go. Oh, I missed you guys' conversation. Oh, sending good vibes out to you guys, or to you, Carla and Robin. That's the worst. scooch this along again. It's being heavy over here. I'm getting a little warm with my sweater on now, but I don't know. I needed to feel toasty today. I think I'm caught on the table or something here. There we go. Gonna run right into this pin. I'm gonna have a whole jar full of pins again now that I've taken a bunch off of the jean quilt, and I'm gonna be taking them all off of this guy now. That's gonna be awesome. Oh, it's freezing there by you. You just started the fire. Yeah, we're the opposite. It's getting warmer, but I don't know. Today was chilly. It was just one of those damp, rainy, chilly days, and we had the windows on upstairs, so open upstairs, so when I walk by, it's just chilly, but in a nice way, but, you know, still had to warm up by the fire a little bit. Get the sweater on. All right, we're getting there again. Then we just have the one more row. Oh man, it's Friday. This week just zipped on by, I feel like. Speedy, speedy. Jeez, 90s down there in St. Louis. Wow. I don't feel like that's that far away from here. I guess it's about 8 hours still. Yeah, I'll have to look ahead. Ooh, you guys, tomorrow the husband and I might, in the morning, be going to Faribault Woolen Mills. They're having, like, their annual sale of, like, remnants and stuff. And that's just, like, a little less than an hour away from here. So we might go on a little textile field trip tomorrow. So if we do end up going, I will be sure to take photos and hopefully maybe do a live stream from there too if there's Wi-Fi enough to do that. But that'll be fun. Like they're selling like yarn remnants by the pound and wool remnants and leather remnants, and I don't know. It'll be fun. I've never been there, and I think they do a tour on Saturdays as well. So we'll get a tour the mill a little bit too. Yep, it's a wool mill. They make blankets and stuff. I think they do some cotton items too, but yep, it's a full-blown wool mill, which just sounds amazing. I can't wait to. I hope we do the tour, or if it's available as well. I think you might have to call ahead, but they're having this whole big thing, so maybe they'll just build a tour into it. I don't know, we'll see, but I'm stoked. It's so close, and you know, I never really knew about it. So yeah, I'm super excited to finally go check it out. All right, we're on our last row here. It's working great now that there's thread and that that our guide is fixed now, not moving around. Ooh, yeah, so I'll take photos. I'll for sure at least post photos to the Facebook page, the Penguin and Fish page here. And hopefully we'll do a little live stream. We'll see how that goes. I don't know how that'll work. But hopefully, kind of like how we did at the world's largest textile garage sale from a couple weekends ago. That was fun. This might be pretty similar. It might be just like a gaggle of people trying to get remnants here. Yeah, do they have sewing machines? I know that's the danger, right? No, I don't think it's going to be like that, Gretchen. I think it's just like wool and yarn remnants, neither, and actually leather remnants too. I don't need any of that stuff. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what speaks to me. How about that? But I just, it's a good excuse to go because I've never gone, and I'd love to go on a tour of it, of the factory would be neat, and just check it out. So this was a good excuse. It's in Faribault. That's the town it's in. So it's just south of the Twin Cities, like literally straight down south, about an hour or so. I know, I could always work at wool. You know what? I have a ton of wool yet. I used to make stuffed animal kitties and little pouches out of wool. And I don't know. Ooh, a leather baker's bag. I do like leather remnants. I do like browsing through that. I think it's just fun. I have this idea of making bags and stuff, but I just kind of keep them. But yeah, so I don't know. Maybe something will call out to me. I was thinking about putting together some kits. I've made these little wool zipper pouches before, and they have a little embroidery on. They have machine embroidery on, but I thought it would be fun to turn it into a kit to make these little wool zipper pouches, but with some hand embroidery instead. So I don't know. Maybe there'll be like a bolt of fabric or something that will call to me, and I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. If anything, it's gonna just be a fun field trip for me and the hubs. Get out of the house for a little while. It's not wanting to shimmy along very well, but it's because there's a whole lot of quilts in my left here. Yeah, I have a pile of wool, so for sure I need to do something with it because I bought a bolt of, actually 2 bolts of these wool, and they're kind of odd colors, but something's got to happen with them at some point. Here, like the bolts have just been sitting around for ages and ages. Ugh. So much quilt here. All right. So the 2 bolts that I have, the problem is I don't think, I'm not sure everyone would like the colors of it for kits, so I don't know. I'll have to figure out something with that yet. Maybe I can design a kit around it where those colors make sense. All right, we're almost to the end. We're approaching the corner. Oh, I started crocheting a rug in 1978 and it still isn't finished. Ah! You need to break that out on one of our Finish It Fridays, Nolan. For fun, be like, oh, let's just work on this a little bit more. I know, it's working. It's we're sewing really quick today, and it's totally because I've put that tape. Here, I can show you again quick. Because I've put that tape here, so that's stopping the sliding. So it can't move back and forth very much. So I'm not dealing with the slipping of that. So I just can follow this guide and yeah, we can be speedy. And I'm sure my lines are a whole lot straighter tonight too. All right, I'm gonna lessen my stitches. Oh, you still have the wool thread? Oh, fun, Nolene. Yeah, why not, you know? It's fun breaking out those old projects and finishing them up. All right, so that is it for the quilting. This is it. This is all I'm doing for the quilting. So we have just these lines, just 3-inch lines in the border, and then I've just gone around each of the squares by just going all the rows this way and then all the rows this way. So there's no actual quilting inside the blocks at all, but you know, we're keeping it simple. And then, you know, they crossed over in the corners, so we got this kind of little grid in the corners. But yeah, so that is it. So I have the binding is already made, and actually we put it around some random wool that I had. So I'm doing the same color binding as the border, just so it kind of bleeds off. Kind of like what we're going to do with the chevron quilt. I didn't want to frame it with another tiny border. I just wanted it to like fall off into nothingness, and that's why we're doing a binding that's the same color. So to start to do this, what I have to do first, and I might do this this weekend. I might not show this part just because it requires going back into the living room and spreading it all out again, and then doing the trimming. But I don't know, maybe we will do that. Maybe I'll trim all this. Yeah, you know what? Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll wait. And on Monday, if I'm on Monday, again, my husband might take the gear, like the camera and the lights and stuff, and the computer. That he might take that on Monday for a video shoot. But if he doesn't, if I have it all, then maybe Monday, and if not Tuesday, I will bring this back out to the living room. We will trim along the edge. I'm not going to worry about really squaring it up or anything. I'm just going to trim the edge. We're going to trim through all the layers, well, really the batting and the back layer, so it's even with the front layer. And then maybe we can take a little tour of the blocks again. Maybe we take out the pins, take out all the pins. Maybe we can snip all the little threads a little bit. And then on the next day, Tuesday or Wednesday, we'll come back here and get the binding on. But that might be fun. That might be a good time to look at the blocks and see what we got going on there. Yeah, we could just use the rotary cutter on the table, but I don't know. We'll see. So one way or the other, but I'll wait instead of doing this on my own. I'll wait to cut all this with you guys too. So, all right, I'm going to flip you around. Oh, there's my little Be Brave popping out there too. So this is a free block that I did for that was downloadable. Yeah, actually, I think if you go to, oh man, if you go to the Splendid sampler and you go to the free area, this will be one of the little freebies, the Be Brave embroidery. So you can download it there at thesplendidsampler.com. And then we just did that collage of scraps around it again, and we just left left the circle for the embroidery. So this is what we did for the charming chevrons, where we just laid all that fabric down and stitched over it. We did the same thing here to kind of frame up the little guy here. But yeah, so we'll do the tour in some way, and I think the tour of the blocks, and I think I'll trim off this edge at the same time. So we'll take a day and do that. I think that'll be fun. So okay, I'm gonna flip you around and we'll call it an evening. Oh, you love the bee. It's so me. Oh, that's nice. Thanks, Linda. I appreciate that. But yeah, so I think that'll be fun. Yeah, instead of me just doing it on my own, just trimming it, that would be a good opportunity to take a look at the whole quilt again. And I haven't seen it either, all spread out again either. So that'll be fun. I can remove pins, and we'll take a look at it. So awesome. I will take photos and stuff tomorrow if we end up going to the Faribault woolen mills. Oh, I hope so. That's going to be fun. And then I'll see you guys again on either Monday or Tuesday if I can't make it on Monday. So awesome. Thanks again, guys. Have a fabulous, fabulous weekend, and I will see you later. Good night.